Let's talk Palantir.
It all starts with the PayPal Mafia, the guys who invented PayPal: Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Mark Andreessen, David Sachs, the crypto czar for the Trump administration. You'll notice a common theme of Lord of the Rings, where Palantir was the seeing stone that corrupted all, and then Anduril, his defense company ran by Palmer Luckey, was actually the sword from one of the main characters.
Palmer Luckey invented the Oculus headset, and he also was the one trying to advocate that impossible meat should be made out of petroleum and plastics, but the FDA said no, and he was upset.
Q in In-Q-Tel, which is the CIA's private arm to invest in organizations. They created Google Earth and then sold it to Google and then sold a bunch of shares of Google, making millions of dollars. Over the last 15 years, they've also made $1.2 billion in taxes. Funny enough, Q was a reference to James Bond, which is the force that gave James Bond all of his technology.
Makes you kind of reconsider what was going on with QAnon.
2004, they gave Palantir $2 million, and in 2005, $40 million from Epstein into Palantir, 2004 is also when Alex Karp became CEO.
Dude is out of his mind. He's always on drugs, coked up, or on ketamine or something, but he has no technology background. He's actually a philosopher, and he was just put in charge because he could see the vision.
And that same vision is to use the PayPal technology that they had to fight fraud, to fight terrorism. The FBI and CIA recognize that. What that looks like in practice was the X-key score in the Gotham technology, which Snowden showed us in 2017, almost 10 years ago. The NSA captured nearly everything the user does on the internet. That includes emails, chats, web traffic, pictures, documents, calls, webcam searches, keystrokes, and more. Palantir applied their Gotham software, which made it searchable, visualized, and they could see the social connections, ideological groupings, and behavior maps. And a direct quote is, "We are the single worst technology to use to abuse civil liberties, which is, by the way, the reason why we can never get the FBI or NSA to actually buy our product." Karp 2025. Not only is it used domestically, but it's also used in foreign governments, and then you kind of get into this Pogo Zephyr project. Palantir contracts with the military of Ukraine, with Israel, with the Danish government, with the UK. They also have access to all the health records and the nuclear weapons in the UK, as well as Australia, the Five Eyes, essentially. But the Swiss report said that in the Cloud Act of 2018, the US government can access all of that information. LAPD used Operation Laser, which tracked license plates, their social media, like pictures and Clearview AI, as well as the criminal record, which had predictive policing. They also tried this in New Orleans, but people pushed back. Essentially, it was Minority Report, and they wiped the project. What this all points to is a Fourth Amendment loophole.
The Fourth Amendment is that the government cannot track you legally, but the loophole is that they can buy that data from third parties who you willingly say accept terms and conditions to. And they have DHS, the FBI, ICE, IRS, Secret Service, and even in February of this year, the DHS purchased a $1 billion contract with Palantir. Project Pogo and Project Zephyr essentially is when the government is going to use these algorithms, this AI technology, to track and label people who are dissenters, and then Zephyr is to eliminate them. This stems from a guy who had a dead man switch, so when he died, he sent out this voice memo that he basically exposed all of this and has not been substantiated.
But would you be surprised? Let's check out the whistleblowers. 2025, 13 former employees wrote a letter saying that the biometrics were being used on immigrant children, journalists were being targeted, and then DOJ was cutting regulatory systems to prevent these types of things. Even a former executive from Palantir said that they intend to take over the government, and they said it's an occupied nation. Even some of the treasury people, former treasurers in the government, said it's a vendor lock situation.